Last week, Chris Hansen exposed a migrant drug operation in California. Sanctuary city policies have emboldened migrant drug dealers so much that they've now set up shop pushing fentanyl right in front of San Francisco's federal courthouse, as well as right in front of City Hall. Hansen went in with a retired detective, caught the fentanyl dealer slinging dope and evading police by just blending in with the rest of the homeless. Watch.
Tell me about the fentanyl trade here in front of the federal building in San Francisco.
It was so bad for a period of time. The civilian workers that worked here, they told them they can work from home because there were so many sellers and users out here. And they come back out at night, but they had put a fence. This whole area has been fenced off.
How hard is it to detect fentanyl being smuggled into this country from Mexico?
It's hard because there's so much product and trucking coming in that you can't test it all, you can't check them all.
Joining me now, host of Takedown with Chris Hansen on True Blue and Predators I've Caught, Chris Hansen. Chris, there's so many advantages to these migrant drug dealers, especially in a place like San Francisco. Why?
Well, because it's an open-air market, and nobody knows this better than Britt Elmore, who you just heard from. 25 years undercover, 1,000 buys of drugs and weapons. Now, you've got a situation here where this is not just a ragtag group of Honduran immigrants. These are merchants of death. Each one of these 350 to 400 illegal immigrant fentanyl dealers is making $300,000 to $400,000 a year. And as we discussed, some of that money, most of that money is going back to Honduras, where they're building mansions and carrying on. In the meantime, you've got a situation where the current DA has taken this seriously. The last DA was recalled.
Right.
And now Brooke Jenkins is taking this seriously, but the judges are not, according to Britt Elmore and many other law enforcement officers I spoke with while we were on the streets of San Francisco.
And they're blending in with the homeless. You see the homeless, they're intense. You're not allowed to touch an illegal alien. You can't even mess up their hair in San Francisco. And you can't move the homeless out. So they've infested inside these tent cities.
And they are not afraid, Jesse. We rolled up as far away as you and I are on this set to people doing fentanyl on the streets, on their knees. They light lighters underneath tinfoil with the fentanyl in it, and they inhale the fumes. And they walk around like zombies. And then the other side of this is to get the money, they steal from retail stores all over San Francisco and the suburbs. They're taking public transportation down to San Mateo, stealing, bringing the stuff back, and we saw open-air markets where the fencing was taking place. And they know the threshold. They know if they only steal $900 worth of merchandise, they're not going to face any consequences. They get a ticket.
They get a ticket.
They get a ticket.
Ooh, I bet they're going to pay that. Some of the more comical things do seem to unfold with you, Chris Hansen, while you're there.
Dark humor.
Somewhat of a misfire. Listen to this.
Just so everybody knows, I got shot in my with a 380, so it don't work right.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, excuse my language, sorry guys. But I got shot with a Full Metal Jacket 380 and through my private parts, through my leg, so it don't work right. I can't have sex with women.
Okay, so just for context, this is a predator investigation first. We do this whole interview with a guy who's in court. He's in a courtroom for a criminal hearing, and he's texting the decoy in our investigation in Alabama. He makes a date, shows up, we go through the whole routine, I interrogate him, the sheriff's detectives interrogate him, and then spontaneously he tells me he couldn't have done anything anyway because he shot himself in his private parts with his gun while cleaning it. So you'll see the entire episode later this week on True Blue, but every time I think I've seen it all, Jesse, I see something else.
That's one alibi we've not heard yet.
Never.
All right, thank you very much. Chris Hansen.
Thank you, Jesse.
Joe Biden has a cannibal problem. Right back.